Hello, and thank you for joining me. I'm Karen Fernandez, and this is my podcast, Living with Integrity, Creating an Abundant Life. Today, we are going to talk about transformation and finding a new baseline for our lives. Transformation doesn't happen all at once. It's a process that takes place when we start stepping out beyond our comfort zone. Transformation can only start to take place when we choose to go beyond that which we are familiar with. The unknown is the only place we can create something new. Our critter brain will try to rebel to make us stay where we are at. Fears, real or imagined, will try to take over our thoughts to crush our efforts and goodwill in establishing this new baseline of what we want our life to be. We must remember that our biggest enemy is that self-doubting and self-limiting voice we hear in our head. Developing a closer friendship with our Creator will naturally give us a better understanding of who we are. Being open to the Spirit for guidance takes practice, patience, and a willingness to put our effort in, no matter how big or small it may be. Now that we've developed a personal routine, it's important to stay faithful to it, because when we start skipping days, it can become a slippery slope. Especially in the beginning, we should at least try to be as faithful to our routine daily in the beginning to establish this new behavior. Otherwise, it's like swimming against the stream, and to stop is to lose ground. Not being firm in our commitment will make us have a routine that has a yo-yo-like effect that makes us feel up and down. We won't feel balanced. We'll feel extremes. But if we stick to our routine over a relatively short amount of time, this new way of being becomes second nature, and the flow of it will be harmonizing in our lives. Until we get to this harmonizing place, we must stay committed and determined to keep at it. This is one of the most important and loving things we can do for ourselves. Once we master this, we can face anything in life because our baseline is a solid rock foundation of prayer, works, and trust. When we have bad days, we lean on our routine. When we have good days, we celebrate our routine. And in all circumstances, we give thanks and praise to our loving God, who is always with us and is at work in our lives. Draw close to God, and God will draw close to you. James chapter 4, verse 8. Developing a relationship with God doesn't have to be complex or restrictive. The more we grow in this friendship, the more we will start to feel and see God at work in our lives. There are no coincidences. If you have a hard time believing this, pray for the ability to understand and for an open heart. Our hearts can become rocky, stony, and our spiritual life could grow anemic, wither, and die if we don't water it daily. Our souls thirst for the living God, who gives us living water to drink. We need to learn how to tap into that source of living water. But whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst. Indeed, the water I give them will become in them a spring of water, welling up to eternal life. John 4:14. Some days will be easier than others. Some situations will test and challenge us, but we will never be tested beyond our abilities. Truly deepening this relationship will help us to know ourselves that much deeper, and we can begin to be confident in our own decision-making. Clarity and wisdom will start to illuminate our minds, Creativity and fresh vigor will take over our being. Things that were once hard or arduous for us will become easy, light, and fun. We have to be willing to be in the uncomfortable feelings of the unknown to create a new known for ourselves. This level up will lead to a new baseline and will be the standard of what we are welcoming into our lives. Life has a natural progression to it. Just as we can't go back and become teenagers or children again, we naturally progress to the next level of living. Many people go through life struggling with the illusion of control, only to find that change is the only real thing that is guaranteed in this worldly life. Nothing stays the same. As we move through each day with the willingness to be open to new solutions and new possibilities, we are establishing a new personality because we are creating a new reality. We don't have to let past stories or circumstances dictate who and what we are in life. We can become bitter or better. The choice is ours. But we have to take accountability and ownership for our part in every circumstance. This is where we get to choose how to move forward. Are we going to be victims, petty, or resentful? Or can we see the opportunities and gifts that are at our disposal? It starts within us. If we are argumentative, always needing to be right or win, we won't feel higher levels of consciousness. We will become blinded by what is binding us or keeping us anchored in a negative place. It's a mindset shift. A mindset shift is needed, as well as definite action. So we need to stomp out laziness and complacency, two things that crush our goodwill. Whether it's going out of our way to help a friend in need, or making a little time each day to get quiet and centered with God, we have to be willing to make that commitment to ourselves and to our Creator if we are truly looking to create a life of abundance. Over time, these efforts become easier as we start to actually enjoy this new way of being. Elevated emotions will start to replace lower negative frequencies that we are so accustomed to. These higher states of being don't always happen right away, but they will happen. Taking off the old self and putting on the new may feel awkward at first. You may feel like you're an imposter, acting like someone you are not. Imposter syndrome is common when shifting into a different mindset and way of being. Practicing self-acceptance, self-love, and compassion helps us to get there. We're each called to evolve, grow, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. As we physically mature into adulthood, we can look back at our youth and reflect on the different stages of our growth in our lives, from infancy to adulthood. We don't question outgrowing childish ways of playing with toys, dolls, and games. But when we get into adulthood, we are not meant to stop there. This is where we start to understand our interior life and how to develop it. There is no summit that we come to and rest. Life will always give us circumstances that will test our boundaries and bring us to a place of growth, change, and expansion. We don't have to look for these experiences. They will come on their own at the appointed time. Working on self and developing a routine will put us in a place of being teachable and able to flow naturally through our life as if we were floating down a river. It doesn't matter if the current is calm or wild. When we do our part, we can relax and release the rest into our loving co-pilot God's arms. Neither the one who plants nor the one who waters is anything, but only God who causes growth. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 7. That quote comforts me because I realize that my life is a partnership with God, the creator of the universe. I do what I can, and the rest lies in God's hands. Some days I do better than others. Some days I feel like I fall short of the call. I continue to move forward, regardless, because every day is a new day, and God's mercy and graces are renewed and fresh every morning. If I have a bad day, I try again the next day. Little by little, we keep advancing in the game of life. There is a joy and enthusiasm for this game of life that is available for all of us. I want and desire deeply for every living being to feel this tremendous gift of joy, enthusiasm, and love for life every day. It's possible and available. It's not a fantasy or make-believe, but we have to do our part to clear the clutter and distractions that aren't allowing us to be open to this shift, elevation, and flow. It helps to align ourselves with people who want to do this work as well. It will be easier to support and encourage each other. We are not called to do this all on our own, and we can't. We first lean on our Creator, and then connect to people who will support and encourage us. No one can do this work for another. We each must choose what side of the field we are playing on: the side of wholeness, transformation, unity, peace, love, elevation, or the side of smallness, blame, pettiness, fear, scarcity, and a poverty consciousness. Believing there is not enough for everyone, or that some have to lose in order for others to win, this is a poverty and scarcity consciousness. In life, we all can be a winner because the victory is already won. We all come from a source that is beyond us, and we are loved, chosen, and each of us were uniquely picked to be here at this particular time in history. We matter and have a purpose that makes a difference in our world. We must start waking up to this realization so we can tap into that higher vibrational frequency and start living the life of abundance which we were called to. Even if we don't recognize or know exactly where we want to be in life or where we are headed, starting this work on our interior life will naturally spill out and create more opportunities and options in our exterior life. We have nothing to lose by trying this and so much to gain. I witness daily so many beautiful things coming into my life that I never had before. So many upgrades in my lifestyle, but most importantly, interiorly, my anxiety is diminishing. My fears and worries are dissipating. Confidence, strength, courage, determination, and trust have come in to replace those lower fear-based energies. Inspirations and new ideas are coming forth from where things used to feel stale and stagnant. Those lower states of consciousness are now being replaced with energy, excitement, zeal, and opportunities. So if someone was to ask me, is it worth it, the work I put in daily to cultivate this growth and change, I would say, absolutely, 100%. The cost is so little compared to the gains that I am obtaining. This work that I struggled doing at first has become a work of no work and has just become my default way that I live. Every day is a new adventure that I get to do instead of having to do. I understand how hard it can be to start and stay the course when life shows up. It helps to have someone there to hold space for us, to keep us accountable, cheer us on, and to help us to navigate through our own blind spots. We all have different circumstances, but we are all playing the same game, although this game is only with ourselves. The prize is union with our Creator. The gift is this present moment where we get to co-create and manifest the life our soul and heart is desiring and was created for. It's a free will choice we get to make. Nothing in my life has ever been this satisfying, and nothing in my life has ever aligned in this way before I took on this work. It is the most liberating and freeing state I have ever dwelled in. To let go of blaming others, complaining, to stop judging myself and others or circumstances, to take rightful ownership of my own life and experiences. I now view all this as a precious gift that I have been blessed with. A friend of mine once said to me, "Karen, life gave you lemons, and you didn't just make lemonade, you poured some out for others." That really touched my heart. I have no regrets in my life. I see the purpose for all the things that I lived through. It shaped and molded my heart to be flexible and expansive. The biggest gift in my life is my life experiences, because they have helped me to become flexible, resilient, and unstoppable. And now I want to help others to see the possibilities that are available to them in their lives. No matter what has happened in the past, it doesn't have to define us or hold us in a limited state of being. Are you living the best version of yourself in the highest quality of life you can obtain? We were created for this. It's inside of all of us, and our soul knows it. That's why we tend to feel restless, because we aren't living the life we were created for. The God frequency is meant for us to tap into. And when we work on all these things and let go of lesser things that are holding us back, we will naturally elevate and vibrate to this God frequency. That is where true union with God starts. And when we get there, that's only just the beginning. More will be revealed. If you would like a more personal, one-on-one coaching experience, contact me at coachingwithkaren.com. Together, we will take the necessary action steps required to make this paradigm shift. Having the proper tools, support system, and having someone there to hold us accountable makes a huge difference. Change will always be something that our critter brain will try to run from. A coach can be that person who helps us stay motivated, focused, and is there to help us not forget about that initial driving force that has sparked this flame inside of us for this upgrade and expansion in our lives. A coach will help us to find and create that new baseline for a higher level of living. Sessions are virtual or can be done in person where available. The link to my website is located in the episode description. Thank you for listening.